Hey y'all, it's Tom from Tom's Honest Tips, and this is the MSI MPG 321 CU-RX. This is simply the MSI Mag 321 CUP, but this one's a much better monitor all around, and it only costs just a little bit more. How much exactly? It only costs $989.99. Now, the way I see it, if you have the means to spend for an almost $900 monitor, then you're most likely able to push that up to $1,000. So, if you're torn between this monitor and the MAG 321 CUP, I would advise you to get this monitor, the MSI MPG 321 CU-RX, instead. That's the short answer though. This monitor is basically the same as the MAG 321 CUP, but this is the MPG 321 CU-RX, and the MPG stands for MSI Performance Gaming. Now, how is it exactly the same as the MAG but different? They both use QD-OLED panels, and on this monitor, you get the same benefits: very deep blacks, very good contrast ratios, and instantaneous or near instantaneous response times compared to other panel types. At 32 inches, the screen resolution also stays the same, 3840 by 2160 or 4K, so you have a pretty sharp image overall. The curvature radius is at 1700 millimeters, which is the same, which is also subtle but still great for immersion. Response times again remain the same. But the 321 CU-RX, this monitor has a much higher refresh rate of 240 Hz. That's much higher than the 321 CUP's 165 Hz, which means that the 321 CU-RX, this monitor, is more for gamers than the MAG 321 CUP is. Man, it's complicated saying those names. 165 Hz sure is smooth, but 240 Hz is just simply much smoother. Now, obviously, you're only going to be able to experience the full 240 Hz if your gaming PC is capable of reaching an FPS figure as high as that. I'm pretty sure your gaming PC is more than capable if you're looking for a monitor of this class though. There's no need to worry about screen tearing when it comes to gaming or for general use, since this monitor is NVIDIA G-Sync compatible. Basically, screen tearing is reduced, and your overall experience with this monitor is all the smoother. Now, let's say you're a working man or woman, and you do content creation, or let's say some color grading or photo and/or video editing, and you need accurate color representation and whatnot. This monitor has a 99% coverage of the DCI-P3 color space, which means, well, yeah, accurate colors and all that. Apart from that, this monitor also gets a built-in KVM switch. This basically means you can control two devices, like, for example, let's say two laptops or two desktops, or a laptop and a desktop. So now, let's talk about the ports. This monitor's ports are actually pretty extensive, much more extensive than those of the 321 CUPs. There are two HDMI 2.1 ports, one DisplayPort 1.4 port, one USB Type-C port which also functions as a DP-Alt port, two USB Type-A ports, one USB Type-B port, and one 3.5mm audio out port. So again, think of how much better and more utilitarian this monitor is compared to the MAG 321 CUP. They're pretty close in price, and I don't think it's worth getting the 321 CUP over this when this monitor has a higher refresh rate and more functionality. But then again, maybe you don't really need higher refresh rates and you just need something good enough to play games on, and you don't really want to spend this much. Either way, checking the product out shouldn't be too bad. You can scan these QR codes or click on the links in the description below to check the MPG 321 CU-RX out. Also, if you're still here, why not leave a like and a sub? Feel good about yourself making someone's day. Anyway, it's Tom, thanks for watching, and have an awesome day.